Welcome to Mindset Mondays, the videos with advice to pole vault you into your week. Of course, there's no actual pole vaulting involved. You can enjoy this video without leaving your seat. Today, we're talking about a potential paradox. By that, I mean the paradox of potential, not like a potential paradox. Potential is something that we care a great deal about and we spend a lot of time thinking about, but when you examine it more closely, it's not actually that useful. When you're starting out a new endeavor, whether it's a writing project, a business, a YouTube channel, a relationship, a book, whatever, understanding the potential and how far that idea can go seems like a really useful thing to know. However, by its very nature, potential is one of those things that can only be assessed accurately in retrospect. There's generally no way to know the potential of something before that something has happened, unless it's like a chemical reaction or like an electric circuit or something like that. Allow me to illustrate with an example. Let's say you have a car with an indeterminate amount of gas in its gas tank, and you want to find out how far you can drive that car on the gas remaining in the gas tank. Assuming you have no way to measure the gas and calculate the mileage, the only way to figure that out is to drive the car until it runs out of gas. At that point, you can measure the distance you drove and figure out how much gas was actually in the tank. So if you drive the car 82 kilometers and it runs out of gas, then you can now say with relative certainty that there was 82 kilometers worth of gas in the car's gas tank. The problem with that is that at that point, that information is not very useful because you've expended the potential of the situation. Let me give you another example. The Lord of the Rings as a series had a lot of potential because it turned out to be a very popular series that sold a lot of copies, has remained relevant for like 80 years, and is one of the most popular fantasy series in history, if not the most popular. Of course, there was no way to really know that back when Tolkien was originally writing the series. The only way to find it out was to write it, publish it, and see how successful it became. And as previously discussed, the series became very successful. So we can accurately say in retrospect that the Lord of the Rings series had a lot of potential. But again, the problem is that's not very useful information. If you were to publish the series today, it would not live up to the same thing as it did when it was originally published. Not because tastes have changed and not because people still don't want to read it, but because The Lord of the Rings has already been published, so you can't publish it again. The potential of that idea has already been realized. I could list a whole bunch of other examples, but I think you get what I'm saying here. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, potential is probably something you shouldn't worry too much about. A lot of people, when they're working on a new idea, spend a lot of time trying to assess the potential of that idea or work on different projects or spin their wheels because they're not sure what has the most potential. And really, they're ultimately just guessing. The only way to determine the potential of a given idea is to execute on it to the best of your abilities, see it through to the end, and then you can have an idea of how much potential that idea had. Put the work in and don't worry about your potential or the potential of your ideas. Thanks for watching Mindset Mondays. Come back next Monday for another video about mindset, which is published on Monday. I'll see you then.